Hi, and welcome to the Thriving and Surviving podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Markson, and I'm a mum, a wife, an entrepreneur, a coach, and most importantly, I'm someone that loves to make waves, break stigmas, and challenge beliefs. Think of this podcast as a wine and cheese night with your besties, sharing your deepest and darkest thoughts and struggles, but also learning a thing or two. So whether you're thriving or just surviving, this podcast is here to enlighten you, heighten you, and most certainly brighten you. So let's dive right in, and I'm so glad you're here. We're doing this one virtually because Em is in air, which for those of you, most of you that don't know where that is, that's about an hour from Townsville. So thank you, Em, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's weird to be on here like with you running the podcast.
Background with Em. So Em and I first became friends so we both worked for the fire department. So we started about 6 months apart from each other. And then how long was it? It was a couple, maybe 2-3 years, maybe later, we launched Train with the Girls-ish.
Well, you were in Brisbane once we launched it. So we were friends for a while first.
It must have been maybe 4 years. Maybe 4 years later, we launched Train with the Girls, which...
it would have been.
Yeah. So, some of the listeners remember Train with the Girls and some are probably clients there. But we had some all-female gyms. So we had one in Townsville, one in Brisbane, one in Sydney, and then we online coached as well. And we had that company for like 7 years, I think.
Yeah, it was running for 7 or 8.
Yeah. So it was quite a long time. And it was really challenging. And I suppose that's what Em and I are going to be bouncing around talking about today, was what that was like when we started our first company, the things that we learned, the things that didn't quite work, and then how we've sort of transitioned from there. So I suppose Em and I came from very different angles, I suppose. I'd done the study and I had a lot of the theory coming in, but I had no practical experience with business. And I suppose neither did you at that point.
No, I definitely didn't.
No. So it was, and I suppose a lot of people say not to mix friends with business, but I actually feel like we navigated that space really well.
I feel like it's really hard to have business partners in literally any scenario, whether they're friends or not. And even though we no longer run it, I still feel like if I had to have a business partner, it would be you.
I think it wasn't without our fair share of clients.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like it was good though. I feel like having you as a business partner.
We were good fighters.
We're good fighters.
It was generally ended up being productive.
Yeah. And I feel like it helped us. It helped teach you to advocate for yourself more, because I am quite a strong personality. And for me, I feel like it helped me be a little bit more sensitive and aware. And
yeah, I feel like we would have, me definitely, I learned so much through Train with the Girls. And I think it definitely would have shaped both of us in a lot of different ways, just because it was a really big part of our life.
Oh my gosh, it was all consuming for a couple of years there. We were talking on the phone, multiple times a day, every day. And I think that's
Train with the Girls was a lot.
I think having, obviously you and I both run our own businesses now. And I kind of miss having that sounding board and being able to brainstorm ideas together. I feel like you were so good at getting my creativity going, seeing as I was always wanting to do a million different random things.
You wanted to do so many things.
And I think that's really good at sort of slowing me down. Let's just think for a second before starting 50 million things, and let's just pick one thing and do that at 100%, because I can be bad.
Yeah.
Doing too many things at 50% rather than just nailing. I'm still bad at it, to be honest, but I'm a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was definitely a big one. You want to do a million things, and it was we just didn't have the amount of time to do that.
Guys, I didn't prep Emma on what this was going to be about. I literally just gave her a day and time, and she's like, I'll be there. I suppose the biggest question, no, I've got two questions for you, is what would you say is the biggest mistake you've ever made in business? And what do you think the best thing you've learned in business? And like try and make them two different things, because I know sometimes that can be one and the same, but like see if you can think of like two.
Yeah, I feel like I have two. I would say my biggest mistake is, and I mean, maybe other things come into this as well, but with Train with the Girls, I think one of the biggest ones was considering how much money can come in versus how much money you've got to pay for that business to run. Like
like
setting
a
up
profit and loss.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, setting up a business that is actually viable, that you can actually like easily, not with struggle, bring in enough money that you can make money on top of your costs, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's like lots of things that goes into what your costs are, and those things adjust over time, and you allow for that. But I just think that some businesses are set up which are going to be much more easily profitable compared to others. And I think group fitness is a really, really hard one to balance.
Yeah, it definitely can be. Especially like, look, when we were first kicking off Train with the Girls as well, like that was before, I think Fitstop was coming in as we were finishing up. Like there wasn't a lot, like there was a little bit of F45, but like what we did was also different to that. Like I think we were sort of pushing into a new territory that wasn't actually there at the time.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Which is, it's great in a sense that, you know, you're bringing something new to the market, but it's challenging in the way that you haven't got other successful business models that are already in that space for you to get a little bit of guidance off, particularly when we were so new to business.
And also exactly what I was about to say, when you're coming in new to business, you're like learning as you go. Like you're learning so much. And and like, so sometimes like we took a billion stabs in the dark, a billion, literally.
It was kind of like, I don't like the expression, but it was almost like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what stuck.
We literally did though. But do you know what? I think that is like how you become successful. I'm not going to lie. Like that's why so many people have so many businesses, people who have extremely successful million dollar businesses now, they generally had businesses that failed beforehand. And that's why.
Well, I definitely feel like there's so much to learn in the failures, right? Like, and I mean, we had plenty. Plenty. But I think we weren't afraid to try new things though. And I did love that about us. Like we were like, you know what? Let's give this a go, see if it works. Let's give this a go, see if it works. And I suppose, you know, we were in a little bit of a unique position because we also both had full-time jobs outside of that. So it gave us a little bit more bandwidth to be able to take those risks and them not pan out and still be able to keep a roof over our head. So like, it's kind of, I kind of like that we got to experiment a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we learned a lot from doing that. But that would be, my biggest probably regret is that I feel like the business was set up that it was really hard for us to get ahead. And I don't think that was just us. I think that's why a lot of group fitness, CrossFit, all those gyms that are not, you know, ones like F45 where it's a branch of someone else, but running your own, a lot of them close down because it's just so hard to get yourself to that point that it's profitable alongside so many other things with a group fitness gym. But then I think my biggest, what was the other question? Like my
biggest, best thing you've learned, like a really good takeaway.
Yes. Yeah. So the best thing I've learned, and I'd say it's like one of my more recent learnings, and has like, it's come from Train with the Girls, but not just Train with the Girls. It's like, you know, my whole adult life pretty much, I feel like. And I don't really know how to word this learning, but it's just like finding that balance, that it's not like hustle culture, like a toxic level of hustle culture isn't the answer. Would be like my biggest learning. And like that there's multiple facets that come into being successful. So like it's hustling, doing the work, but not to the point of that toxic culture, because you still need to find that level where you can stay regulated, because it's important that you can be regulated to make good decisions and to be able to keep going, to not burn out, all those things that come into it. But then also, I've gotten a little bit more woo-woo these days, but I think like also trusting that what's meant for you will be there for you. You've got to do the work, but what's meant to come for you will come for you. Believe that you can do it, which I've always been like a big
You've always been big on manifesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like 100 times more that now.
I love that. I feel like you tried to bring that more into Train with the Girls. Like you were always trying to not run at a more sustainable frequency than where I was at. I've actually, you'll be proud to know, I've actually definitely come back a little bit as well. Like I'm still happy to put in the work, but doing it in a way where it's not taking away from every other aspect of my life, whether that's my kids or my relationship or my mental health, and actually having a framework that is, sure, is it as productive business-wise? Not really. But is it more sustainable when you're looking at like a holistic view of everything? Yes.
Yeah.
I did take that on board.
And then the woo-woo side, I guess, comes into that. I love calling it that woo-woo, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, but like comes into that as like, with that time that you're able to do the work and get things done while you're not working at an extreme and getting as much done, believing that as long as you do the work in that balanced way and just keep working through that at the speed that you're able to without completely burning yourself out, that the success and the progress will come from that.
Yeah.
Without going to those extremes.
I've always believed if you are operating in a space that you are passionate about, money will follow. Because if you are passionate about something, you always, I mean, for starters, you've always got a bigger bandwidth to put in the work because you enjoy it and it sparks joy as well. Like
honestly, I want to do more work. I want to work that toxic hustle. I want to do that level of work. Like my brain is like thinking when I'm doing things, I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But like, I like don't allow myself, because every time I burn out.
Yeah. See, I mean, I feel like I don't burn out, but I feel like I'm just like, I mean, you know better than
it takes away from other aspects.
It takes away from other aspects. And
when you're a parent,
it's chaotic for everyone around me.
Down. Yeah.
And then no one else is.
And you might think you're okay, but then are you actually unregulated? So then therefore you have less patience with your girls. Like,
I don't think regulation exists for me.
You're like, I'm okay, but I'm unregulated as fuck.
Yeah. Look, you are not wrong. And I think, to be honest, like, I feel like I heard what you said, but it's been having kids where I'm like, there's finally, maybe there's it's not even that. I feel like maybe for the first time, there's something more important to me than that. Whereas prior to kids, I'm very work orientated. Sounds horrible, but like my relationships and like that wasn't actually more important to me, but the kids are. So I think it helped me like let go a little bit, because it doesn't feel like I'm slipping backwards. It feels like I'm pushing forwards, just in a different area.
Yeah.
But definitely took that, because it is, but I mean, look, it's still hard, right? Like you see, I get a little bit of envy, I suppose, sometimes when I see, other women in our industry without kids, and they are just hustling and they're killing it and they're doing all these things. And I'm like, kind of wish like I'm doing that, but it's just the trade-off, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel the exact same way too when I see other women without kids being able to like do the thing and live the life that you sort of I don't want to say like you try to live the child-free life, but there's just things that you try to do that's so much harder to do with kids than without. Not that you'd ever give them.
No, and look, everyone listening, like neither Em nor I would give our kids up, but does it come with more complexities being a woman in business with children? Like, it is, because as the mums know, like it doesn't always get to be about you or work.
Yeah. And I think as well that comes with like any woman that is a very ambitious woman, balancing like ambition and children, like being a mom.
And I mean, even relationships, I suppose, for people that are a better than myself, apparently. like trying to, and I mean, that's what we struggled with, I think, as well, because you were like, nope, I need to prioritize this time with my partner. And I'm kind of like, fuck the partner, like work. I'm like,
Yeah. You're like, Jake will live.
literally. Like, but look, you're not wrong. And like, that was sort of things that you used to say back then is like, for my relationship to be successful, like I do have to be able to give a certain amount of energy and time to it. And I mean,
Yeah.
who's still in their relationship? So you're
Look,
probably right.
I think what's meant for you is meant for you. And I don't think it's got anything to do with that.